Good morning, everyone. This video is intended to guide you guys with regards to the mini performance task number 2 that you shall be performing. So the title of our mini performance task number 2 is Momentum in Motion Collision Investigation Challenge. So what's the main goal of this activity or of this performance task that you shall be doing by group? So your goal here is to investigate and demonstrate how momentum behaves during interactions or collisions and explain how the law of conservation of momentum applies in real life situations. Previously, you we have discussed about momentum. You were able to solve for a momentum of a certain object. And yesterday or the other day, we have discussed about law of conservation of momentum. So in short, we have proven that the momentum of the objects, the total momentum before the collision is equal to the total momentum of the entire objects after the collision. And that signifies that there is really a law of conservation of momentum, and that indicates that whatever momentum before the collision and after the collision remains the same. And that's what you're going to do in this particular activity. So kamo na yung ma-design on your own as a group kung ano ang inyong nga collision nga scenario, and you're going to investigate through it and really prove that law of conservation of momentum applying to that designed scenario by group. So in here, you will demonstrate how physics explains motion, impact, and changes in movement in everyday situations through a recorded group presentation supported by an actual demonstration, could be a simulation or a modeled scenario. So it depends on your group, whatever it is, you would be deciding. So ano ang role ninyo diri sa amuning activity? You are a team of physics investigators or safety engineers tasked to analyze motion and collisions occurring in real-life situations. So, sino ang inyong audience? So, of course, your classmates, your teacher, and maybe if, since you would be recording this scenario, I might ask you to share it in your respective social media, Facebook, and so others as well, the junior high school lower years, grade 7, grade 8, and even your grade 8, mga seniors man ang sinyo, might be watching the video about the law of conservation momentum that you have investigated, which you have posted in your Facebook account. Anyway, with regards to that, I will just give another guidelines if ever I would ask you to do that. But the main audience here is, of course, your classmates and yours truly, your teacher, which would be rating the group's output as well, since this is your part of your performance task. So what's the situation all about? Collisions and impacts happen everywhere. May it be through vehicles stopping, objects falling, pushing carts, catching objects, explosions, rockets, even collisions, vehicular collisions, which I have shown you as an example during our discussions. Safety equipment, daily interactions involving motion. And because of those collisions and impacts happening everywhere, so makita natin that it's really happening real time, and we could observe it through real life experiences. And with that, your group will create and investigate your own collision scenario using accessible materials. So I don't want you to buy anything ha. So damo kita available materials at home, maybe on your classmate may maara sila available. So you make use of that para hindi ka mo magastuhan, okay? So ano gid ang gina-expect ko per group? So each group must submit one recorded group presentation or video, collated video based on what you have done. So it's a 5 to 7 minutes lang nga videos, no? And it must include clear explanation of momentum based on your scenario nga na-create, explanation of the law of conservation of momentum. So in short, I expect each group that you have calculated the momentum of the objects before the collision and of course after the collision for you to be able to explain comprehensively and show through your scenario that indeed law of conservation of momentum happens and you have proven nga equal gid man gali ang momentum before total momentum before the collision and even after the collision. And how are you going to do that? So you have to, since you have designed your own collision scenario, you must also assign or provide values of the mass of that object. So, mass din, paano ko ma-measure ang mass? So, of course, I am certain may mga balance or mga weighing scale man kamo sa mga balay ninyo. So, you can make use of that. So, if it's in kilogram, you convert that in grams. Remember, 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. And I have taught you how you should convert that. So, you try to convert in grams. Or kung naka-grams na siya, make it in kilogram. Kaya di bala, ang aton nga formula, mass should be in kilogram. So kung kilogram na nagali, okay na siya. Pero if your weighing scale is in grams, you have to convert that into kilogram. Kay amo nang i-substitute ninyo sa formula. And of course, for its velocity, depending on the force that you have applied, so you try to think of ano ang iya nga velocity given that force nga ginhatag ninyo. So you could assign the values, mass and velocity before and even after the collision. Okay? Kay para ma-prove ninyo later on that the law of conservation of momentum is indeed correct. And of course, I expect you as well to demonstrate or investigate. So, dapat you have planned it out, ano mga materials nga kinanglano ninyo, and dapat may ma-demo about that before the collision and after the collision. Because if you recall sa atin nga mga previous discussion, may ara kuya sang ginapakita sa inyo nga diagram or pictures. So, dapat amo man naobrahon nyo to showcase and report that to your classmates. So, you try to recall and watch again or review the PowerPoint presentation I gave you kay para guided kamo as to what I expect of the labeled diagram, like diagrams ang inyo nga situation. Pareho man sang ginubra ninyo bala last time sang ang inyo nga mini performance task about projectile motion, amo man ang inyo nga obrahon. So, in that recorded group presentation or video, so dapat may ara dira demonstration of your investigation. So, may ari ako diri sang ginahatag sa inyo nga choices. So, may ara di you may use toy cars or collisions, no? You may choose one lang among the choices below, or kung hindi ka mo gusto sa mga ginpang suggest ko sa inyo, you could think of your own for as long as make sure ang inyo nga obrahon nga investigation or demonstration is aligned to momentum concept and at the same time safe ina siya sa inyo. So amo ni mga probable that you could use: toy cars collisions, rolling objects, marbles or balls, skateboard kung may ara ka mo, or kart motion, dropping objects interaction, balloon propulsion system. So, syempre kung amo ninyo brown, dapat may ara ka mo nga balloon nga gina-prepare and it could propel the motion or mahulag ang inyong toy car with the use of that balloon. So, amo nang inyong mga scenario. Push-up motion between two persons. Pareho to na recall nyo to ang sakay Chirag kag kay sa sino to kay Summer na kon nga scenario, so pwede man ang amo to inyo if you want. Or you could use that PET simulation. You could check that PET simulation application that I presented you. Basi may ato dito nga simulation app nga pwede about momentum. Then you could make use of that self-designed experimental model. So sports examples are also allowed, but it's not required to you, ha? So it depends on you. So this is this could guide you as to how you're going to create that. Another, um, in that video, recorded video, so dapat it should include also, again, identification, anong mga objects involved. Amo na mention ko kangina, dapat may before and after motion analysis, pila ang mass ang first object, pila ang mass ang second object before the collision, pila ilang velocity, same goes for after the collision. So momentum comparison and explanation of momentum is conserved. So diri nyo ni ma-explain if you have proven that indeed momentum before the collision and after the collision is really the same. So, dapat may ara supporting calculations and it must be correct. And of course, documentation evidence after your presentation, if you could add a slide, show proof of your planning screenshots or interactions ninyo via Google Meet, base na Google Meet ka mo, no? Could make use of that. Online meeting screenshots, and of course, experiment set of photos or videos, kung if you could add, and data gathering process. Kung may mga behind the scenes ka mo, pwede man, you could add at the end. And of course, so amo na niyang guide ninyo on how you're going to perform by group. So since face-to-face meetings are limited, groups are encouraged to, one, assign roles. What else? Could be leader, sinong leader ninyo dera, sino ang inyong coordinator, sino ang mabulig sa inyo, and making sure. So, you assign each member of your group. Kay damo man kamuda, sinong ma-research or sinong ma-make or design sang inyong nga tawag na sang inyong collision scenario. What else? Sino ang ma-design sang experiment. So, sinong ma-perform, in other words, sinong investigator, sinong ma-perform sang collision scenario. Sino ang materials manager. So, sino ang ma-prepare sang mga materials nga kinanglan based sa gin research ninyo or gin create ninyo nga tawag na nga specific scenario. Presenter, sino ma-present man, videographer, video editor, sinong ma-record sang data, calculator analyst, kaya may ma-solving ka mo da. Okay? So, mo ng mga possible roles nga you could assign to each member kaya para may inubrahan. So, after that, you're going to design a scenario. So, diba? Bago sa inyo, design a scenario. So, you can create an original real-life situation involving motion and collisions. So, you could coordinate, discuss, brainstorm, and collaborate to plan for your performance task or investigation via online video conferencing apps such as Google Meet, Messenger, video call, or through chat on your respective groups, GC. So here are the probable contexts that you may choose. So, kung choose only one, hindi ka nang landa mo, kay lawig na karon. So, choose only one among the following. Create your own as long as it is safe. So, you could choose among the following, just like what I have shown you earlier. So, amo ng mga design scenario nga pwede nyo create. Next, after nga naka-plan out, nakamo about your scenario, naka-assign na roles, you perform or simulate the interaction or collision. So, remember, may mga plan na subong that we might shift to online class, no? So, I expect nga more of your interactions would be done online. But if needed, nga gusto nyo get face-to-face demo, you could meet once or twice together with your group. So, you could, dira lang kamo sa balay sa inyong nga classmate, you ask permission from the parents. And during that time, limited lang dapat ha, hindi permi ha. You could perform or record your presentation kung may mademo na dira kag videohan. So dira ma-perform ka mo. So you may perform an actual demo or create a realistic simulation or model. So kung magamit ka mo PhET simulation, pwede man. So at least online lang na, hindi na ka mo kinanglan meet pa face to face. So depende. And again, strictly use available materials such as the following. Depende kung amo ni ang scenario ninyo, you could make use toy cars, balls, cards, books, so on and so forth. Or if you could improvise, pwede gid. So next is collect the data. So you determine or assign, again, amo tong bako sa inyo, the mass of the objects, the velocity nila before and after the collision. And afterwards, solve for the total momentum before and after collision and prove if really the momentum is conserved. And I want you to support your answer using calculations and physics reasoning. So, tuduan ta na kamo how to solve it. So, make use the standard unit per measurement ha. And after that, create visual representation. You could include label diagram. So, amo nang parehosang sample sa ginubra ninyo sa projectile motion. Before and after comparisons pagid. So, lantawan yung sample na nga mga diagrams about sang billiard to kag collision nila ni Summer and ni Chirag. And then after that, nga may visual presentation na kamo, you compile the presentation video. Again, 5 to 7 minutes only ha. Amo tong ipakita ko sa inyo last time. So you must explain the scenario, show calculations, interpret results, and connects physics to real life through your simulation or through your demonstration. And again, avoid excessive reading from slides. So, dapat organize na plan out ninyo ang inyong scenario and at the same time ang video nga i-present. So, you're going to submit your final output right after. So, ma'am, paano ma'am? So, today, April 10, amo ning gin-orienta ka mo, I taught you about the step-by-step process kung ano gina-expect ko sa inyo. After that, day 2 ninyo, it could be any time from April 11, Saturday, to April 16. Ma'am, pahampang next week. Well, remember, not all of you would be performing in the pahampang. And as lab school students, although nag-participate ka mo, hindi man gid grabe ang inyong participation, unlike sa college students with regards to the activities in the pahampang. So, and damo kamo sa inyo nga group. So, bululigay kamo da. You could make use of that time to perform for this activity. So, hindi man na kinanglan nga kaunon gid ang isa nyo kaadlaw. Remember, lawig ni ang time next week. So, you could perform. So, you could investigate, analyze, and create the presentation video within this period. And the next final presentation na kumo sa akon will be Friday next week, ma-online kita na. So just like what we did last time. So prepare for so dapat na-submit nyo ng inyong na finalize na inyong video kay pa-submit ko ni siya via Google Drive and ako lang na ma-showcase sa screen kay para dire-diretso smooth and flow. So dapat hindi ka mo mag-submit sini on April 17 ha, but prior kung pwede a day before, night before. Kay para ma-process na kada ng video kag hapos na dire-diretso ang presentation. So again, use realistic values, mass in kilograms, velocity should be in meters per second para hindi na mo mabudlayan. Ensure safety during demo. All members must participate and follow the 5 to 7 minute naton nga presentation limit. So, ano ang rubric? Ari diri tanan ang rubric nakon. And again, follow. I want you to follow and target the 5 ratings in every criterion. So dapat realistic ang inyong scenario nga gin-create, well-designed interactions showing clear collision or momentum transfer. Conceptual understanding based on the scenario nga ginobra ninyo ang presentation, you must show deep, accurate understanding of momentum and conservation of momentum law. Tapos, it should provide logical, evidence-based explanation supported by correct calculations. So, dapat correct inyong calculations. I-verify ko na. It should clearly demonstrate conservation of momentum. Your demonstration or investigation should be creative, well-designed, and clearly observable. So whoever is presenting your work through your video presentation must be confident. You could choose one or two, depende sa inyo Basta confident speakers, clear explanation, and minimal reading on your presentation kung may amo ka muna. Strong evidence of equal participation and teamwork, makita ko na based on the quality of your output and based on your interaction sa GC. Highly organized, engaging visuals, and enhanced learning. So, amo na dapat may label diagram kamo pareho sang previous nami itong mga ginapang ubra-ubra day previous nga presentations ninyo. Within time limit with excellent pacing. So, total score again for this mini performance task is 45 points. So, bulaligay ang tanan, wala ko di may ginobra nga template like last time nga PowerPoint presentation, wala. So, kamo na ya decide, make sure nyo lang target nyo 5 to 7 minutes. So I made this particular performance task to measure the creativity of every group and application of your learning through the momentum and law of conservation of momentum. So if there's are other questions, kindly ask na lang sa inyo respective GC kay para masabat ko in a short while. Thank you and good luck everyone.